Hey folks, it's Jamesan from Range Arts, and today I'll be walking through a couple of the rifle purchases that I've made throughout the years. I'll give you guys a behind-the-scenes look into why I chose these rifles over others and sort of my thought process and why I picked these specific guns. I have a bunch of my collection. My prize, the glory of my collection would be my Tavor right now. I have a Tavor X95. And honestly, I bought it as an impulse purchase after the AR ban because they took all my arrows off the shelf. So I bought this and really thought I would use it for a year or two, see what happened. And as things rolled back, I'd go back to my ARs. But after shooting it for like 3 or 4 years now, love it. It is a phenomenal firearm. I've accessorized it to the T's. And it's my go-to competition gun. Anytime there's any sort of two-gun or, carbine competition, it's my bread and butter. I love it. The functionality, I figured it all out, and it works well for me. I do have a couple other rifles I really like. My Savage 10, I bought more as a project gun. It has a bull barrel, which means the barrel is about twice, maybe even 3 times as thick as it should be. And this is to help with recoil management. The heavier the barrel is, the easier it is to manage. But I'd like to do some upgrades to it. The stock on it isn't so great, so I was looking at buying a nice MDT or Cadex chassis for it and upgrading and making a nice precision rifle. I also have a Savage Mark II with a nice thumbhole stock. The base Savage Mark II is a great gun, really cheap, and there are lots of variants to it. I bought a bit of a nicer variant, bull barrel again, thicker barrel, nice big robust stock, threw a bipod on it, great for my precision rimfire shooting. I also have a Marlin 1894. I bought this mostly as a fun gun. It's a lever action. It's chambered in a pistol caliber 357 Magnum, so it's relatively cheap to shoot. It's relatively fun to shoot. It's not something I'd go out hunting with or think about in that way, but it's a great range gun, and it's a great way to take new people out to the range and have them have a bit of fun with a lever action.
What's the best rifle I can buy?
So the best rifle really depends on your use case. If you're looking at a bolt action, it really comes down to a little bit of personal preference. For me, that's a Sako. And if you're buying a Sako, you're looking at like a $4,000 rifle, give or take, for a really nice Sako with the scope, with all the accessories. And it is relatively bulletproof. If budget's a concern, a Tikka is an all-around great bolt action rifle that will run you your entire lifetime without any failures, any issues, and beautiful, robust gun. If you're looking into a semi, that market is more interesting. There are a lot of guns that are reliable, a lot of guns that are nice, but they do get pricey right away. A B&T, a Berger & Thompson, will cost you like $3,000, but will be phenomenal. As you get cheaper, obviously they're gonna skimp out on parts, they're gonna skimp out on reliability, but you do get a really robust gun that still will work with whatever competition shooting, range shooting you're gonna do. How do you choose your first gun? It's a good question. It's a hard question. It's personally speaking, I think about 3 or 4 factors. First and simplest is, do I like how the gun looks? Does it look cool? And if it does, you're going to enjoy shooting it either way, right? A lot of people will look at use case. So am I going to go hunting? Am I at the range target shooting? Whatever you're doing. And people, read forums, go on Reddit, read reviews of the reliability of their firearm. Parts of the things I think about are, is it cool? Can I get ammo for it? If it breaks, can I get it fixed easily, right? So a lot of guns you buy might be great, but have 0 parts availability. And personally speaking, I tend to run my guns a little harder than maybe I should. I like to compete with them, they might drop them, might bash them against things. So having that parts availability is always nice for me. You might not even have to worry about that. So when I go to the gun store, I kind of, like to look at a bunch of stuff, feel things, shoulder them. And if it feels good, looks good, and makes me happy, I tend to buy it. The first gun I bought was the Ruger 1022, and that was based on the recommendation of my mentor. And I really should have done more research before buying it, but I took his word for it, bought it, and I don't regret it at all. It's a phenomenal gun, well made, reliable, but I didn't know this going in. Through experience, I figured out it is a really robust gun. And then I went back, read a couple reviews, and figured out, yeah, everything they say about it is 100% true. And ultimately, it is a 22 LR rifle, like I recommend to most of you to buy. It is a little pricier on the 22 end. It's about $550, $600, but well worth every dollar. I've never had it really jam, never had it malfunction.
Best caliber to own.
So the best caliber to own is a question that's debated and argued about by every single gun owner that can post on a forum ever. You'll watch hundreds, thousands of YouTube videos, read forums, go on Reddit, whatever you do, and everyone will argue, this is better than that, this is this, this is that. And honestly, it comes down to what you're actually gonna do, right? So a lot of precision shooters really loved the 6.5 Creedmoor for a very long time, but it's falling out of favor for smaller cartridges like the 6 PRC or calibers like that. A lot of hunters will tell you the 30-06 or the 270 or the be-all end-all. It really depends on what the person grew up with, what they shot with, what they're used to. Personally, I tend to shoot calibers that are easily available and cheap to get. So I shoot a lot of 22, I shoot 9mm, I shoot 223, and I shoot 308. In terms of hunting, I mostly hunt with a shotgun, so 12 gauge. But as I look in, as I do more shooting, as I do more precision shooting, I am starting to look at these more obscure calibers like the 6 BRC, the 6 Creedmoor, things like that, to get that maximum range. But in terms of like everyday use, I always go with what's cheap.
Why don't you own an AK?
Oh, I wish I could. If AKs were legal in Canada, I would have like 12 of them at least. They are phenomenal firearms, but alas, completely prohibited, and there's no real way for you to get an AK. Now, you could get a Type 81, but it's just not the same.